Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the biceps brachii, aka the biceps, aka your guns. They are an elbow flexor. So what that means is that this is extended, this is flexed. They bring this part of my arm closer to this part of my arm. They run up the length of your humerus, so they attach down underneath your elbow, and then up into two parts of your shoulder. So it's called biceps because that means two. There are two heads of it, and the root brachii means arm. So there are two heads of this muscle running up your arm. Here is my handy dandy scapula and humerus, or the upper arm bone. Okay, so here it is, yada yada. The biceps are gonna run up this bone, and one is gonna come up and over and attach up in here to the top of your socket joint in the ball and socket of the shoulder. Okay, so real deep in there. The other one is actually gonna kind of come up in front a little bit to the coracoid process, which is this guy right here. It sort of comes through your shoulder to the front. So the short head of the biceps, the one that comes up here, is gonna attach here to this part of your scapula, right, that pulls the scapula down and forward. So it's a really important muscle to think about releasing in massage because it's such a big part of pulling our shoulders forward, which can create risk of injury and can also hurt just in day-to-day life. The other one comes up the humerus, and there are these two little ridges here and a groove in the middle. So it comes through that groove. That's where that tendon sits as it comes up and over the top of the humerus. Why that is important is because when our arms are healthy and they hang sort of open, so let me stand back so you can see. When my arms are hanging where they should be, when I relax, you should see my thumbs in front. Okay, if I'm like this and you see my knuckles, that means that my shoulders are too internally or medially rotated. So when that happens, the little ridges will start to friction on this tendon all the time, even if you're not pulling, because your arms are in this position and you're moving around and creating friction. So that can cause biceps tendonitis, which is pretty uncomfortable. The best thing you can do for that is ice it, to take down some of the inflammation. And then again, always just think about pulling your shoulders down and back so that they're nice and healthy and you don't end up walking around like an ape man. Here's an illustration, if it helps you see a little bit better. This is the humerus, this is the scapula. So one head comes up and over the top of the humerus, one comes up in front to that coracoid process, and it can pull your shoulder forward like that. So as far as biceps, I've explained why they can create some uncomfortable situations for your shoulders. You're never gonna not engage them on pull. So everything we do, almost everything when we're pulling, is on a bent arm just because of the nature of the apparatus. You're not gonna reach up in front of you, up above you, because the apparatus is in front of you. So most things are on a bent arm. But what you can do to minimize strain of the bicep is to engage your lats. How'd you know? Engage all of this stuff back here. So for example, when I'm pulling myself up, I don't want my shoulders up here. This works, but it's really straining my biceps and disengaging a lot of back muscles. So pull those shoulders down and back as hard as you possibly can and transfer some of the work from your smaller biceps to your larger back muscles. So instead of pulling up here, okay, I'm gonna drop the shoulders, pull them back, and have a nice, long, strong pulling motion, mostly engaging my lats. So that goes for anything, absolutely any motion where you're pulling, whether it's your stronghold or your shoulder mount or any sort of Aisha, anything where one arm is pulling, always try to pull that shoulder down as much as possible to minimize the strain on the bicep. That being said, they're gonna get a little bit strained. So fortunately, biceps are very easy to release on your own. Let me show you how to do that. So here's my bicep, all right? When I flex, it is concentrically working. It is small and tight. So when it's small and tight like that, I'm gonna take my thumb, I'm gonna vice grip this sucker, stick my thumb in there. If you feel something that feels extra hard or a little tender, that's good. That's a point you need to be holding. So I'm gonna hold this bicep, flex, and then slowly straighten, not allowing my thumb to move. You should sort of feel like your thumb is sinking down into the bicep as you do that. That's how you know it's releasing. And then I can work down by my elbow. I can come up in the middle, work all the way up to where my deltoid is, and get a nice little release on that. Other than that, it's a pretty difficult muscle to actually stretch just because this is as long as this muscle gets and it's not stretching in this position. So I do recommend your little release to help you out. You may notice that after you do that, your shoulders actually feel better because they're not being pulled into 8-man position. So that's my word on biceps. Hope it was helpful. Let me know you have any questions and see you next time.